You're looking live at a Saturday night after dark with Wide Right CFB. We're going to recap some college football from week number 4. Get these flies out of my face. I got a fly in my face. Can you believe that? Flies. Well, I just watched Notre Dame choke away a win. That sucks. And looks like Penn State is going to keep Iowa scoreless. Yep, that game's over. Texas is almost finished with Baylor. They lead 38-6. I need to check the scores here. I haven't checked to see what Washington State and Oregon State turned out. What was that? How did that game turn out?
I think they're about over with.
I don't know. The Michigan State Maryland game started before most of the games in the early hour. Christian, you got a link. If you want to hop on, you can. Bocce's blankets and more. What's up, Bocce? How you doing? This is a little after dark here. We got Hunter's back for a day or two.
For a little bit now. Hopefully. Yeah, Wazoo ended up holding on to win 38-28 or 38-35. Oregon State dug themselves a pretty deep hole, and they almost clawed back.
That's intentional grounding.
Key word on all this, almost.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Kansas State is barely beating UCF
without John Reese Plumlee.
Without John Reese Plumlee. Hey, how about Alabama smacking Ole Miss around?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say smacking them around. The Alabama went and sucked the game down. I don't know how else to say it. They shrunk the game, right? They took a lot of opportunities away from Ole Miss, and they played into what they have the strength to do right now, which is, keep the game slow and let their offense kind of just maintain. Which I think they did a good job of. I think they found something with Milroe being an option quarterback. That QB follow worked fairly well, and I just dropped my phone. Because if you look at how I have this set up, it's kind of janky right now. Because I can't figure out how to make this work.
It's all right. Oh, Arizona gets another win this season. They beat Stanford 21-20. Looks like David Shaw may have been correct in his assessment of Stanford. Yeah, this Pitt North Carolina game, I don't think it's going to end till tomorrow. They're just starting the fourth quarter.
Well, both teams are throwing every play, so yeah.
And we'll wait to talk about some of the bigger matchups of the day whenever, Lindsay and maybe Christian show up.
Yeah.
We'll do that. How about the Texas State Bobcats? And they only need 2 quarters to handle business.
If you'll allow me, I don't think I've in my lifetime, so only 23 years, and really only maybe
24.
10 of those. Yeah. Really only 10 of those watching Texas State at all or tracking Texas State at all. Never see the team battle back down 17. That's usually it. That's it. That's like ball game's over. Texas State's lost. Pack it up. Never seen it before. But to go not only battle back, but to rip off 35 unanswered points with the ability to probably score another time. It shows the change in San Marcos. I think it's good that Texas State got kind of slapped upside the head that first half and then came back out and is, playing how they should.
This is how you get the starters back in the game here. You call a timeout when you're
down 32 points, trying to score a touchdown for good feelings.
No, they didn't. They didn't call timeout. I
think it let the clock wind down.
Oh, if you call timeout, you're down by 32, and and you're trying to score, I'm bringing the starters back in. Last play of the game. It doesn't matter. I mean, Baylor's season is done.
They just score or something?
Mm-mm.
No. Good.
No, it was false start. This is like the 8th or 9th time this guy's false started.
I mean, well, the whole
Nope,
deal
ball
is
game's over. They didn't score. There you go.
good deal. I guess I shouldn't be a biased reporter here, but I'm not really a fan of teams like
We're not
going and
pros.
trying
We
to
can
score.
we can
And
do whatever we want.
like my problem with this is like I'm not a fan really of like teams going and doing shit like this where they go run gimmicky plays and keep their starters in and things like that to try and score to find some sort of feel good. Baylor squandered their opportunities to score. The game has been over. They're really just trotting out guys to get hurt at this point. You know,
What's up,
I don't know.
John? Diabolical 58 in the house. Yeah. No, I don't like it. I mean, sometimes you just need to take your loss and go, and when they start putting their backups, you need to do the same thing. It's kind of like a courtesy, but what you're doing is you're preventing guys from getting injured.
Injury. Yeah, I mean, like I said, say what you want about it. That's my take on it, and I'm just not going to agree with anything else. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like in
um,
the Texas game was the 2 fumbles on special teams and then the missed kick.
yeah,
My volume is low. I'll have to fix that. I got it on
it's
max right
fine.
now.
It's fine. I think
Oh, do you think John's
I
fucking
think
with me?
they're saying I think the
Uh,
bass is low, or maybe
I don't know. I'll have him
very
elaborate.
baritone. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fucking
Let me turn it like this.
not an
Is that
artist.
better? Can you hear me better like that? I had
It
it.
sounds
I had
about
it.
right to me.
Okay. I don't know what to do. I was talking on the side of the mic, but
I guess for Missouri's purposes, they will win 14 or by 14 against Memphis. Where for a good chunk of the game, Missouri was in upset territory, but it looks like they've been able to pull away against Memphis.
still says my volume is low. Maybe I should. What about now? Does that help any? Now, can you hear me
That's
now?
pretty loud. It's pretty loud. Um,
Yeah.
Akron here has got an
Hunter,
opportunity to drive
it's
down the
only
field and tie the game with
John and Bocce
Indiana.
watching, so it's all right. There's probably
as well
nothing good
cater to
coming
the
out
audience.
of my mouth. There's probably nothing good to listen to now.
I suppose.
This just pisses me off. This Notre Dame losing to Ohio State. I don't know why. It just irritates me.
Well, watching most of the game, it looks like Notre Dame forgot how to play offense.
I would have
Up till it
lined
was
up and
a
just
little too
aired it
late.
out against uh, Ohio State. I think Ohio State's kind of a fraudulent
Yeah.
team.
But
Let's see. We get
I mean,
Joey
Ohio State
Preciado
still has to
watching here in a
play
second.
Michigan. They still have to play a lot of games. I mean, it hurts for Notre Dame. I thought they were about to go out and prove that they're a top 4 team. They don't. Ohio State still has to play a Penn State team that has just gone and taken an Iowa defense and smacked it upside the head, and at the same time took a supposedly improved Iowa offense and blanked it. I don't want to play Penn State, especially in Happy Valley. If I'm any team, they got to play Michigan, who is Michigan. Is the second or third best team in the country, depending on who you ask. I don't know who they pulled from the East this season, in the Big Ten, but I do know. Oh, it's Wisconsin. So they got Wisconsin and Rutgers up next, or well, they have Maryland up next. Maryland's not going to be an easy out. Sorry,
I
Ohio
don't think
State
there's.
fans.
I don't think they're as good as what what you think? What's wrong with Caleb Williams? Why does Caleb? He didn't have his helmet on. It looks like his face got smashed or something. Maybe this is how he normally looks. Arizona State doesn't. This isn't. They don't stand a snowball's chance in hell at this game.
Against USC?
Yeah.
I tend to agree.
Oh, we got another panelist here. No big intros tonight. We're only just hopping on to hop on.
We're keeping it low key.
Yeah, I just, it's 9:45, 9:55 by now, and I've had all of today I can handle. So,
Big day, rough day.
no, I had to work this. I was up at like 5:30 this morning. I had to work, and I took a brief nap in the middle of the day. Had Hunter not mentioned he wanted to go live, I would have skipped it.
Oh,
Like, easily skipped it.
Sorry. I figured the most important part of the show needed to show up at least once every few weeks.
got that right.
Oh my gosh. I
got
liked
a
your
question
comment
for
about
you.
the. Oh, go ahead. What's your question?
We won't be on nearly late enough to see the foreclosure of this, but who blows of these three games, who achieves the biggest blowout? USC Arizona State, Kent State Fresno State, or Cal Washington?
Ooh. I'm gonna go dark horse on this one. I'm gonna go Kent State, Fresno State.
So you're saying the Fresno State Bulldogs will blow out the Golden Flashes the most?
Well, and this is my methodology here, right? So
All right.
USC is not only gonna let Caleb Williams play the first two quarters, and then they'll be up by a sizable amount. So there's no sense in him coming back in and playing anymore. Washington is gonna beat Cal, but they're gonna be so efficient on offense that they won't use. They'll use up a bunch of time. The clock will never stop, basically, right? And Cal's gonna
Okay.
be a bunch of 3 and outs. So it's not like Cal's offense is good enough to keep them on the field, moving down the field, anything like that. So they're gonna win by a lot. But Fresno State, they're in stat padding time. They need to put numbers up if they want to even get mentioned in the top 25. So that's why I went Fresno State. That being said, Washington will probably beat Cal by 395 points. And
Just going with 396 for Fresno State.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Fresno State will score like 21.
All right, Lindsay, you got any dog in this fight?
I have been tracking those games. I don't know. I haven't really been tracking them today.
It's kind of just off the cuff. Nothing really.
We
Nothing.
gotta say hi to some more people. Pat Paulson in the chat. What's going on, Pat?
I'm gonna go with Washington Huskies. Oregon just laid out Colorado, so I think Washington's gonna see that and go, I need to do that too, and then go and pummel Cal. We'll probably never mention this again, so if the commenters want to keep track of it and ask us during the next show, that's on you. I'm not going to keep track of it. I'm going to forget probably when I go to sleep tonight.
I don't know. What was your most surprising score of the day, Lindsay?
I'll tell you my least surprising score was of the Colorado Oregon game.
They had the spread covered. All right, that's all I can tell you.
I like how Dion said after, he says, "This is the worst they're going to be." Careful, coach. It can always get worse.
I wouldn't.
You never know how bad it can get. You never know how bad it can get.
It can always be worse. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
As a youth football coach, it can never be. It can always be worse. You can always be worse.
No doubt about that.
I'll go most surprising score. I mean, I don't really think there's any question about it. It's got to be Oregon housing Colorado. Um, and I'll give Colorado this. If there's any positive here for Colorado, they didn't let Oregon score 100. So there you go, right? Oregon only scored 42, and they did technically stop them when Oregon went for 49. But
I really felt like after the third quarter that Oregon was just playing to play.
well, I think Oregon the whole game. You looked how Dan Lanning talked about it. Like Oregon and Colorado are going to compete for recruits, at least for right now. Uh, and you're telling guys basically with that performance, like, hey, you can go play for Dion and NIL money, or you can come to Oregon, NIL money, Nike. Oh yeah, and by the way, house a team like that. But I think this is kind of a come to fruition, a come back to earth moment for Colorado. That style of play they've had for the last few weeks is
You
not
think?
sustainable, right? You can't just wing the ball every play with your quarterback reversing field 2 or 3 times and it working out. You've been able to do that because you played lackluster teams. Now you're into the meat of your schedule where if you can't run the ball, you will lose. If you can't run the ball and control the clock at all in a game, you're gonna lose to Utah. You're gonna lose maybe you beat Utah if they don't have Cam Rising. I'll give Colorado that opportunity at least.
No, they won't
But
be. No, there's no way. U-
um,
Utah beat UCLA today without Cam Rising, and there's no way that Colorado plays can hang with that defense. This not going to happen.
but I mean you don't beat USC playing like that for sure. Uh, I mean you got USC next. I mean this could be a really bad momentum shake for you. I mean especially if a coach come out saying this is the worst we're gonna be, the worst. What kind of disappointed me in Dion today in his press conference after the game was talking about how it's about him, how people are coming after him, and it's not like on one day you're saying oh this isn't about me, it's about the program, and then now it's about me, it's about everything about me. I don't know if he's trying to direct all the attention on him and all the noise on him and away from his players. Maybe he is. Um, or maybe this is about him. And I mean, if you're a recruit and you're
Ruh-roh.
looking at Colorado,
We got a Joey Preciado sighting. What's going on, Joey? You gonna hop on tonight?
hey, did Sac State win, Joey?
I think they did.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not tracking on the FCS scores right now.
All right. So my surprising score from today is going to be surprising, but it's going to be actually there's 3 of them that I'm surprised on. Number 1 is the Notre Dame Ohio State game. That game set college football back about 42 years. With Ohio State
President's
winning 17-14.
unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. My second one is going to be Penn State's obliteration of Iowa. That right there was just the old fashioned whooping. And then my final one. Is the Iowa State Oklahoma State game. Where on earth does Iowa State get the nerve to score 37 points?
I don't know. But
I'm
between
kidding.
Oklahoma
34.
State,
I'm sorry. It's 34-27.
Oklahoma State and Iowa State produced a watchable game. I don't know, like watching the game was boring as could be, but apparently when I turned the TV off, they would score, and then I turn it back onto the game, and it'd be like boring again. I don't know, um, but Akron is dangerously close to upsetting Indiana. By the way, about 20 seconds left in the game. 45 seconds left in the game on the Indiana 14. Akron has a chance to go ahead and beat Indiana, which may end Tom Allen's career in. I don't know where the Hoosiers are located in Indiana.
Bloomington, Illinois.
Bloomington, yeah.
right.
Well, he might be working at Burlington Coat Factory after this game.
All right. So let me get your thoughts on a couple of games from today. What are your thoughts on the LSU and Arkansas game? Is this an indictment against LSU that maybe they're not worthy of that number 12 ranking? They beat Arkansas 34-31, but they were down a lot in Arkansas. We're talking about the Arkansas team that lost to BYU, that lost to Kansas. Another law of
Transitive properties aren't a thing. Not in college
Okay.
football.
But LSU hasn't looked good the whole season. So
Fair. Well, they did dominate Mississippi State.
Yeah, but Mississippi State I think lost today too
They did.
to South Carolina. So what are your thoughts? Let's start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what do you think about that game?
I would hold them at the 12 ranking they're at. I don't see anything from them right now that would cause them to slip back in the rankings. The fact is that they won. They didn't necessarily look great doing it, but like we talked about Thursday night, yeah, the optics do matter on your wins when rankings are at stake, but I don't think this is going to affect their rankings very much. At least not this week.
But should.
No. I say keep them where they are.
What do you think about them as a team in particular?
You know, even though now that we're 4 games into the season, I still want to take a wait and see on them. I haven't seen a whole lot to change my mind either way. My jury is still out.
That's a very safe opinion.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to be wrong when you pick the winner.
He missed it.
I don't mind being wrong. I just
the
don't
Akron
have
kicker missed the game winner.
All right,
To
so
OT we go.
I got to tell y'all a good joke, right? Back in the day, the Houston Oilers had a kicker named Al Del Greco. And so one time there was a game where Al Del Greco missed like 3 or 4 kicks in the game, and he missed the game winner, right? And so they the next morning on the radio show, the one of the guys on the radio show goes, "Well, Al Del Greco tried to commit suicide last night,
Oh
and
my god.
he was trying to hang himself, but he couldn't
This
kick the
is
chair
not
off from
good to
underneath his feet."
go.
You know, I like the visual of somebody walking into the room and finding him standing on a chair with a noose around his neck, and like having had to do that all night long.
Just
Knocked his
kicking and
shoe-
kicking
Is he
and
kidding?
kicking.
Knocked his shoe off on accident. That was it.
What happened? I tried to kill myself, but I couldn't kick the chair. Want to help me down? Okay.
No, I'm just really sad.
How about some ice cream?
Well, I'll take my take on this LSU Arkansas game. I mean, yeah, Arkansas did lose to BYU, but I go with LSU did battle the whole game. Something to look at is that Jaden Daniels is still throwing picks like it's his job. So the LSU defense, I think, is improving overall. My takeaway is that LSU has a lot of work to do still. They aren't playing like this team that a lot of people that I personally thought would win the SEC. They really aren't. Maybe it's rivalry game, right? Arkansas, it's a rivalry game. They would try to bounce back win. I don't know. They do have Ole Miss next week in Oxford. Following that up with Missouri in freaking I don't know where Missouri plays. I forget. Columbia, and then Auburn at home. I mean that's a rough slate, and really, I mean, it doesn't get really much easier with Army the week after. Army's always a hard game.
You definitely don't want to play Army later in the season because it's a good way to get beat up.
Yeah. I'll take Lindsay's approach on LSU. It's still a wait and see. This team got hot towards the end of the year last year. Probably going to be a similar situation this year. So we'll see. But at this point, I'm kind of out on them. I'm officially revising my SEC winner to to be Georgia until proven otherwise.
I heard something pretty cool tonight during the Texas game that next year in Austin, both Georgia and Florida will have to visit Austin.
That is some big time football in Austin, right there.
Man,
Michigan will be there too, or maybe
Coast,
that's in the Big House.
the Coast Guard Academy took one on the chin today.
Unfortunate.
Yep, they lost 63-14 to Springfield. I picked Springfield to win, but not by that much. They get to play the smart kids next week. It looks like so. Maybe the smart kids can predict the outcome.
No.
All right, let's see what else we got.
Well, I'll go with a game that occurred yesterday. In my games that were so horrendous to watch that I think they set back football. With NC State and Virginia. Truly
Yeah.
awful football being
Yeah.
played by both teams. And I actually like NC State's coach, Dave Doran, but really poor play by NC State
Their best
all
player
game.
left. So.
He did. He said, I'm going to go to Kentucky and beat Vanderbilt somewhat convincingly, even though I kind of played down and the defense made up for it. Virginia, for its part, they have a good true freshman quarterback, Anthony Colandrea. He's like a, I'm gonna use the word Jameis Winston-esque, and not in that he has talent, but he's a checkers or wreckers player. He's either going to throw a good deep pass or an interception. So it's kind of fun. But if you're a Virginia fan, it probably causes you to have heart attacks. Now, I don't know why you'd be a fan of a team that is truly awful, and then their coach is also Tony Elliott, who's a bad coach. At this point, I'm not afraid to say that. I feel like that the jury's been out long enough to say that they aren't good. You feel for Virginia as a program due to the tragedy that occurred last year, but other than that, they don't really seem to have a lot of energy around the program. There's nothing going like, oh man, this team has got something to work with. They've got really nothing, and I think that their best bet is to fire Tony Elliott and hire a better coach.
What if that better coach is G.J. Kinney?
I will be very hurt, but also that'd be probably a good solution for them, right? They need to play an exciting, unique brand of football that isn't. Let's line up in a spread formation, run 2014-esque routes where two of them break out and your quarterback misses both and then throws it down the middle to the guy that's not open.
All right, well let's give some highs and how you doing stuff, you people in the chat. First and foremost, Joey Preciado. What's going on, Joey? One of the OG members of Wide Right CFB. Last year's winner of the Wide Right CFB giveaway, Raging Cajun Garage. What's going on, Raging? We gotta always shout out to our number one fan. She's our number 1 and number 4 fan, depending on how many accounts she's watching with. Baji's blinking some more. What's going on, Baji? Got our good buddy Pat Paulson in the chat. What's going on, Pat? Our other good buddy Diabolical 58. What's going on? Oh, I heard somebody fart here. Is that you, Hunter? Yep.
I've been eating MREs for a little while, and I eat real food, and it's a little hard. A little hard to control.
This is like what was the guy that was the coach of the 49ers that ripped the fart during his opening
Jim
press
Tom
conference?
Sewell. Hey, I didn't try to blame it on a dog, though. I admitted to it.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry about that.
I didn't know your mic could pick up a fart.
I didn't either.
At least we don't have smell-o-vision yet.
What's what happens when all you eat is like packaged processed food for 10 days, and then you come back and you eat like regular real food, and suddenly everything is mobile again. And, you fart. It happens. Did Lindsay execute a shirt change on us, or is he always wearing a green
No.
shirt?
No,
He was wearing a green shirt.
I didn't know we had a Gary Patterson moment.
no.
How many shirts do you sweat through today, Lindsay?
Maybe are the noxious gas levels in the room getting too high? Do you need to start
No,
hallucinating?
pretty. No, you get used to you become nose blind to most everything after a while.
How about
Just try to keep
Georgia
clean,
Tech
so-
beating Wake Forest today with Haynes King at the helm? Haynes King.
Maybe
I didn't see that one
Anybody
coming.
remember who Haynes King is?
No.
That should be another surprising score, I think. Georgia Tech has been playing significantly better this year than last year, but Haynes King showing up like that and also beating Wake Forest, pretty good performance for the Wasps. The Georgia Tech,
The Yellow Jackets.
the Yellow Jackets, that's right.
All right, we got an update. I don't know. This may depend on whether or not if Jude comes on tonight or not. Currently, at the 6:57 mark of the first quarter, USC is tied with Arizona State at 7. And the running back from Arizona State named Cam Scatabo just scored the touchdown.
Cam Scatabo, former player at Sacramento State. Shout out Joey Preciado.
Oh, no. They just put the ball on the ground. There's no way. I think they just fumbled the ball.
Hmm.
I think Arizona got the ball in the red zone or the gold zone, according to the New York Jets.
Well, according to the New York Jets, they gave a lot of points to the Cowboys in the gold zone, so.
Let's see if he fumbles this. And I think we're going to
Oh, by the way,
I don't
Akron
know.
scored on their first possession of overtime.
Kansas State's starting to stretch it out against UCF.
I mean, good. They're playing a team without their starting quarterback that
All right,
relies on
Joey,
their starting quarterback.
If Arizona State builds lead against USC, will we see you on wide right CFB? Like on the panel.
What
tonight?
if we saw him on wide right CFB right now?
I don't know. He may not come. He says YouTube's not for him. He'd only
I
like
said
to
he should
give.
get on
He'd only
here.
like to give like hidden analysis where he goes and he basically sends like a letter, kind of like the Unabomber, where he just sends like a letter anonymously with his.
Is it really anonymous if we know who he is, though?
Well, do we really know his name is Joey Preciado?
No, we don't.
name
Now that
could
you
be-
mention it,
his
now
name
it's
his name could be like Ron Washington or
You are
like
instilling the seeds
James
of doubt.
Smith. You don't know. We assume
Or-
his name is Joey Preciado.
It could be.
Or dumbass McUglyface. That could be his actual name. You never know.
Hey, we can't insult. I don't want him to leave.
Rebecca O'Houlihan.
Oh, true. We
don't know.
left out 50% of the population.
We don't know.
Yeah. Rebecca O'Houlihan. Very well.
Could be.
Joey
Big
says,
tick
Olga-
first round ass. Yeah.
Olga Chichnavovich.
all right. We're just going to call him
Slobodan
Joey. We're just going to call him.
It could be. We don't know.
we're just
Let's
gonna,
name more war crime committers. Maybe it's them.
Maybe it is. Maybe
All right,
Muammar
USC
Gaddafi is
's got
alive
it.
and well. We just don't know it.
Oh my god! All right, enough.
We don't
We're off
know.
the rails there.
It's Joey Preciado.
Went off the rails when
definitely-
Joey started talking about
never-
Mac. Cool.
Yeah, Joey's never coming back on ever again.
Oh no, Joe! This is
He's
because
watching
we like him.
film, like a movie film, or you
watching
like watching
film.
all 22 of FCS teams that aren't very good at football. Because that's what I do. That's my thing. You can't take that from me.
He's
All right, I'm
watching
gonna go
silent,
watch
he's
Austin
watching silent
P
film
and
right now.
I'm gonna go watch Charlton State and Southwest Baptist back on all
I'm
22.
not watching that. And
Maybe he's watching old Charlie Chaplin silent film.
Hunter knows the answer to
The
this.
Dictator.
But Lindsay probably doesn't know the answer to this. Do you know
Or
what the
some-
nickname for Tarleton State University is?
Or some good Buster Keaton movies.
Hunter, don't repeat it. Lindsay, do you know
What?
the nickname for Tarleton State University? If anybody's from the state of Texas and they know this, please put it in
From
the
which
comments.
Maybe.
university? Charleston?
Tarleton.
Oh,
Tarleton.
No, I never even heard of Tarleton State University until this now.
It's in the state of Texas.
They let you get degrees in horseback riding.
One of them are schools. My
daddy
daddy says I don't need no book learning.
You're not.
They have
far
a
from the
degree in
truth.
rodeo and rodeo management.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's called Cowboy U.
It's one of the very few
I'm not making it up. It's-
programs in the country that offers a degree program in rodeo and rodeo management. I don't know the difference between rodeo and rodeo management, but Tarleton State does, and they offer a degree in it. So maybe I'll go get my master's at Tarleton State in rodeo and rodeo management.
If
That's what
I'd
I'll
be
spend
happy
my
if you got
GI
your
Bill on.
master's. Did you go to fucking Tarleton State to get your master's? Oh, I'm kicking him off the stream, I guess. We'll see if he comes back. He's watching California JUCO games and soccer games. Where did Hunter go? He disappeared. I didn't kick
Did
him off,
he?
I swear. No, he turned himself off, I think.
oh,
Hey,
Yeah, I
look,
was
if you
trying
wanted
to
get-
open
if you wanted to
comments.
leave,
he was trying to find a.
I was trying to open the comments and I hit leave by accident
Oh.
because like the buttons are like this close together, and in classic Nichols fashion, I fat finger everything.
So Joey, I know somebody that played at New Mexico Highlands, and they won a national championship there.
A
True story.
Division 7 national championship.
Doesn't matter. He had a championship ring. I saw it. I thought
I
one
can
day he
go
was
buy
gonna
a
punch
championship
me
ring
with
right
it.
now. It won't be mine, but
I almost promise you, he almost punched me with it a couple times.
very well. Sacramento State lost to Idaho.
The Vandal.
Hey, the Idaho Vandals may end up being one of, if not the best team in the FCS this year.
Oh, I thought you said they
Um,
were going to be the next team invited to the Big 12.
They might be that too. They may move back up. I just don't know that Idaho wants to make that level of monetary investment in their program. As a Texas State fan, I'm aware that if you don't make that level of investment, you will suck. I watched it.
What are you talking about? Texas State's never been awful.
Yeah. Yeah,
They were
we've always
god-awful.
been great. 1981 and 1982, they feared us.
Hey, this is their first 3-1 start since 1997.
Yeah. Was David Bayless the coach back then?
Possibly.
22-year-old Tom Herman was calling plays or something, I swear.
All right, Lindsay, let's dive into a couple of your games here today. First off, let's talk about FSU and Clemson with the overtime thriller for FSU.
Well,
Did Clemson lay a ginormous egg, or
they play well enough. They were not coached well enough. There's some bad play calling toward the end of that game, and it cost them. And you have that stupid. I don't know if it was an attempted screen pass at the end, which was the dumbest play you could have possibly called in that situation. And I believe that is the one play that cost them the game. That and the fact that their kicker was just plucked off of wherever he was and brought back into the program, and he kicked the first field goal of his career that day. So you really couldn't hope that he would nail that 38-yarder at the end there. But that notwithstanding, it was bad play calling at the end that cost him.
yeah, he was about to start kicking ass on Wall Street, but he missed.
He did.
Oh, sing. I got a
Update.
few others.
Northwestern has upset Minnesota.
Oh, now Minnesota's going to be upset.
Oh no!
Well, I mean, they live in Minnesota. Of course, they're going to be
I
upset.
mean,
It's like polar cold there, like 90% of the year.
their summertime
Yeah.
high is 30 degrees.
And then when
Well,
it's,
while
and then
y'all
when
are
it's
talking
hot,
about big
and
time
then when it's hot, they
games,
have their state bird of Minnesota is the mosquito.
well, y'all are talking about these big teams that are fraudulent. I've watched the real teams. One's coached by excellent coaches such as Rich Rodriguez and the I'm speaking, of course, of the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, who beat the Eastern Michigan Eagles 21-0 in a game that was admittedly pretty boring. But Jacksonville State moved up from the FCS to the FBS this season. They're actually bowl ineligible because of that, which is anti-football in my opinion. But hey, we all know the NCAA hates football, fun, puppies, and money. So, or I should say capitalism. The NCAA supports Stalin. So, um, anyway, yeah, but just a game to shout out there.
It's good that their quarterback threw for 93 yards today.
He also ran for
Impressive.
60 on one play, but it was a touchdown.
Check out USF beating Rice today.
Okay, but Rice was leading until JT Daniels got hurt.
Does that mean he's going to transfer somewhere else next year?
I think he is truly out of eligibility. But JT Daniels has played great this year, I thought, except for one game against Texas. But I mean, Sawyer Robertson played terrible against Texas. So I don't know. Maybe Texas is really
Sorry.
good.
Joey asked why we're not talking about Kansas. We just haven't got to him yet. We're going to talk about
We'll
it.
get there.
They had a pretty good game today. It's one of their better games today. Last week, not so good. And to be honest, today they were real sloppy, and I can't believe they're that sloppy. A Lance Leipold team, but they play a real team next week, so we'll see what happens.
You know, if Joey wants to talk about 4-0 Kansas,
Maybe he should come
The
on.
invite is there.
right? I'm just saying, there's a spot on the
I gotta
panel for him.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot his email.
Joey, somebody could be talking about 4-0 Kansas.
I need you.
Could be you.
I need Joey to email me. Oh, no, we just lost somebody. It was Joey. Joey, if you want to send me your email address, email me at widerightcfb@gmail.com. That's
I mean,
www. I don't know.
something to
www.
consider.
emailme.com.
Gmail.com. G stands for
Good.
All right.
Google.
It is 4th and 2. Akron has a choice. Do they kick the field goal to go 27-27, or do they go for the touchdown to win the game?
They're going to go for the touchdown to win the game because of the Akron Zips.
Oh, no, we are playing for triple overtime. He is sending the field goal unit. This will send us, if he makes his kick, up. So we'll see here. Kick is up. It is good. We are headed to triple overtime where you just run one play. It's a 2-point conversion. And if you don't get it, turn over to the other team.
So what do we
Supposedly
think about this Oklahoma
These-
and Cincinnati? Did Oklahoma just look flat today or what? Does Cincinnati do that to people? Like, do you travel to Ohio and then you're just like, I'm just
So-
uninspired to do anything?
I watched this game. I suffered through it enough. And you have Oklahoma fans, super fans, to be fair to regular Oklahoma fans.
Do they put the
Talking
fan
about
in
how
fanatic?
they do. Talking about how this, everyone owes Oklahoma's defense an apology. You gave up. I mean, your offense owes me an apology because I thought this was a race car offense, and it looked more like my car on the track. Like I took a 2005 Trailblazer to, meet up, and I got boat raced by a freaking souped up
Prius.
Subaru. Fucking anything, just didn't look good.
You have a soccer bomb vehicle.
Tracking. But yeah. So
Does that come with a bad haircut and a bitchy personality?
it comes to the next time I come home, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
It's all right. I'm gonna come to you first. And it's expected. Like if I were to beat you, then then people are gonna be like, is he worthy of this job? Probably not.
Yeah.
I can't even
we
find
should
this
just move
game on the
now.
app. Where's it at on the
But
ESPN? Is it on ESPN? Is that how you're watching it?
the game was on Fox. Akron, Indiana is on Fox, or it's on the Big Ten Network
Oh.
actually.
Great. I have to
It may be
switch.
on the Big Ten Annex.
Annex. Does the Big Ten have like the Big Ten, 8?
They do. This guy's open. He's not going to throw. We're going to get a holding call. Doesn't matter. No good. Indiana has a
you know
chance
what,
to end this game.
Indiana needs. They need Antoine Randall out. That's what they need. Big Ten Network. It's not
All
on
right.
Big Ten.
Yeah, it says it's on Big Ten Network, boss.
You gotta stop yawning. You're making me tired.
I'm making me tired. Shout out to Utah State. They have battled back from down by 28 points to now even at 38-38 with 7:37 left in the fourth. So for all of you,
I think
You know,
I picked
clock-
against Utah State.
I mean, I would have too. I would go with JMU, but I mean, I'm also a fan of insane scores as long as they don't involve Texas or Texas State. Unless that insane score is 70-0 in favor of the team I support.
Were there any blowouts today other than Springfield over the Coast Guard Academy?
I'm gonna go with
Oh,
Baylor.
I mean, I would guess.
I'm gonna go with Texas
Oregon
against
and Colorado.
Baylor. Oregon and Colorado, another blowout.
32 points, not like a 70.
Washington is quickly working on the blowout against Cal, up 31-6 now, with 11
right.
minutes left in the second.
We got another.
They're on
panelist here.
pace for 120 points.
There's no fantastic intros tonight, Jude, because
That's all good.
I'm tired.
Just there was a fantastic team quacking all over in Oregon all day. Quack quack quack. Oh my goodness, man, was I off on that one? Hey, Joey Preciado's in the chat. What's up, Joey?
Hey, send him a link. He's not gonna send me his emails. Send him a link.
Oh, he wants a link. Yeah, I was all
Yes.
for it.
Yes, he wants a link.
Okay.
Joey
Shout
has
out to-
asked for a link because he was so eager to get on tonight.
Oh, absolutely, send him a link.
That's
Maryland blew
Joey.
out Michigan State, but it was awful and boring as shit. I'm not even gonna say excuse my language. It's worthy of that. Oh, so South Alabama
Just keep
last
it
week.
shy of the F word.
South Alabama last week blows out Oklahoma State in Stillwater. This week they play host to Central Michigan, who's 0-3 on the year, and lose.
They lost to the Chippewas. Isn't that who the
yeah,
Central Michigan is?
the Chippewas.
And they're
Some
coached
noted-
by Jim McElwain still.
Yeah, yes they are.
It's not Tuesday night. Can I do one of these?
Yeah.
What? Do we look like saints here?
Hey,
look. Lindsay,
EVOTG.
Lindsay, or not Lindsay, Jude. Is it true that Jesus actually turned water to wine?
Yeah, was it water or was it blood?
I don't know.
What?
But anyways, as long as you're not drinking Bud Light, you're fine.
No. It is a light.
Yeah.
Strictly
you're
an anti-Anheuser-Busch program.
Yes. We don't.
Hey,
Even
Bachi,
though I'm
what's up,
pretty sure
Joey?
Miller Lite's canned by Anheuser-Busch.
No, it's made by the Miller Coors Brewing Company in
Ah,
Fort Worth,
respectable
Texas.
then.
So
Respectable then.
Jude's beer could be a Texas beer. Of course, they probably have bottling place in California. I'm assuming Miller Lite's probably a big deal in California because, there's like dudes there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like it's big here. If you go next door to the shop next door,
All right, match point. Indiana has scored on their 2-point conversion. Akron must answer, or Indiana will escape with the world's most unimpressive fourth overtime win that I've ever seen.
Speaking of overtimes, you think Florida State will fall, being that they struggled last week against Boston College and had to take what everyone's considering a weak Clemson team into overtime?
wins a win. I mean,
Who
if they fall,
passes
they're
them
only
up?
gonna maybe I don't know.
Diabolical
They're not gonna-
58. What's up, John? 2.
John too.
Who
I don't know.
passes them
But
up?
Well, here's the deal. At this point, does it matter? I mean, like, it's
Great team, good teams win. At the end of the day, good
It
teams
only
win.
does because there's only 4 spots.
yeah, but
If-
we're so early in the season, the spots don't matter. I like literally, they don't matter.
If you
Like,
if you want to
I
think
think
about
there's
it,
too much emphasis on people being like, oh, we have to be ranked 3. Like, if Texas dropped to 5, it wouldn't bother me. I think it's a non deal. This is all going to take care of itself at the end. You know what I mean? It's kind of
ball game.
like Colorado. Like,
Indiana
everybody
escapes.
goes, oh, Colorado's this, Colorado's that. Play the season out a little bit, and then let's have a little more. Let's take it a little bit better. Like, if they go 6-0 and they're 6-0 in the middle of the season and they have dominant wins, then we'll take them serious. But look at their opponents and then look at them as a whole.
I mean,
They're
if you
not-
want,
They're not a
Pat Paulson, what's up, guys?
if you want food for thought on Florida State, they have not won a true road overtime game ever. Now, overtime hasn't existed in college football until 1996, which precipitously Florida State's been like, okay, anyway.
They won 2 national championships since.
But they haven't need to play an overtime game. So I think it's, and also Clemson is notoriously great at home. No team has ever marched into Death Valley like this, played an overtime game, and won. Florida State just did. So, yeah, they played down to competition twice this year, but that happens. They won though. I'm not a fan of dropping teams as long as they win. If they win, they stay. Like, I don't think Florida State should be 4. They should be 3. They were 3 last week. Then you switched them with Texas. Texas went and dominated a Baylor team that's going to fire their coach next week. It's going to happen.
They're not
I
going
know you
to
guys say
fire him
it's
next week. They're going to.
I know you guys say it's early in the season, but games like Ohio State and Notre Dame, I think those kind of Notre Dame might be done now. What were they, 9? Now they're going to be probably 12 or 13. I mean, that's a lot of spots to move up.
They'll be 15 or 20. You got to start looking at who the
They'll be
unbeatens
15
are.
at worst. They lost so thin to a team that's considered really good. They're not going to drop to 20.
But you just got to go, and nothing that the coaches poll and the AP poll does is there's any rhythm to it, right? They're just throwing shit at the wall right now. We're not to October. Once the rankings come out from the CFP
committee,
then you start to separate a little bit. But everybody's got enough games left in their schedule that they can do something noteworthy or dominant, right? You know, like
unless you're
USC's
Tech.
they're probably not going to play a ranked Colorado team next week. But and the deal is like, so they're going to get this big win over Colorado, like, oh, a 1-loss team. But what's Colorado's record going to be at the end of the season?
Well, I guess we can appraise Colorado's schedule live for the viewing public.
I don't want to talk about their schedule. That's a Tuesday night discussion. It's a moot point. They have to play like 3 ranked teams.
End of the season. Let me see. What are they? What are they right now? 3-2.
3-1.
No, I'm counting. They got SC next week. They're 3-2. so two losses in a row. I think Prime's a good enough coach that he's gonna get them up. They've got ASU coming. They're gonna beat ASU.
Maybe.
Let's USC needs to beat ASU first.
Yeah, that's true. And what about Washington State, man? How about that one? That was a great game. We called that game. We knew that game was going to be good.
Right,
I remember I said
you
home
gotta
team.
look. And then does Colorado play Washington?
They have to. They're both in the north.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Well, Colorado's in the south for some reason. I forgot.
Y'all are forcing me to pull the schedule. I really don't want to.
Colorado's in the north. Man, they're a Big 12 team. Come on.
I mean,
Hey, but was today the Pac-2 championship? If it was a great game.
There was a great sign in the stands. The Pac-2 championship. They had on one side was OSU, and the other side was Washington State. But it was a good game. Cam Ward is a human highlight machine. That guy was awesome.
He's
Cam
awesome.
Ward might be a Heisman dark horse. The Pac-12 may have
I wouldn't count
3
him out.
guys receiving Heisman votes by the end of the year. Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, and Cam Ward.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And depending on, I mean, dark horse. I don't know what the record is right now. I think they
Bo
lost.
Nix as well. Bo Nix as well.
Yeah, he's good. But what about the quarterback from Arizona State's pretty spectacular too? He just doesn't have an offensive line or a running game or any receivers.
Well,
man.
he's
It's just-
hurt.
But once
Did you
again,
get hurt?
Yeah.
Once
Oh.
again, these teams are all going to play each other, so they're going to whittle down. You know, like
There were
all
6
good.
games in the this week that had ranked teams fighting or playing against ranked teams, and 3 of them were in the Pac-12.
I mean,
but like
Colorado
like,
has
'cause you
USC
can
next
go,
week, so let's
yeah,
see what they
you
do
can
there.
go look at you can go look at like the SEC. Like the SEC has like some down teams this year, just like the Big 12 does. And the Big 12's got some down teams this year, and the Pac-12's got some up teams. But once you get through the season, though, that's what I'm saying. Like I just don't like jumping like to conclusions right away because like everybody's ready to crown Colorado after their win against TCU, and it reminded me a lot of. I guess it was Charlie Strong's first year at Texas or second year at Texas, whenever they beat Notre Dame at home.
Third year.
And it was it third year? And they're like,
Yeah.
Texas
Same year they lost to Kansas.
back to 5-7 is where they were at. Back to 5-7, and Notre Dame ended up being 4-8 that year, and both teams replaced coaches. So,
No, they didn't. Well, Brian Kelly
they
fired
did.
his entire staff, but he was still the coach.
oh, okay, but
But
I mean, like,
the Browns did draft Deshaun Kaiser with the 33rd pick in the NFL draft,
where's the
Man.
play these days?
and proceeded to go 0-17 the next year.
They deserve to go 0-17 the next year. Drafting
Oh.
if you're drafting Deshaun Kaiser with the first pick of the second round. Come on, that's a quality pick. That's basically the last pick of the first round, and they just threw it away. I mean, no offense to the kid. I mean, he's a good player. I'm sure he's a great kid. You know, I'm sure he's a great person to be around. You know, I'm sure he's intelligent. You know, Notre Dame's academic standards that they need to get in. But wow,
Actually, I think Deshaun Kaiser was kind of a prick, to be honest with you.
The guy said he had the brains of Brady and the arms of someone else.
He played
John
like Terrell
Elway,
Pryor.
essentially.
I heard that a lot.
No, Terrell Pryor won a national
Deshaun
championship.
Kaiser, but I
so-
heard that a lot.
That's because the defense that Terrell Pryor played with was a good.
Joey, you bet if you don't want to get blocked, Joey, you got to watch your foul mouth right there. Matt Barkley has made a great career of being. You know, it's no chump change being in the NFL for 9 years, backup or not, man. I mean, that's one of the top 64 players that can play that position in the world.
All right, Hunter knows where I'm going to go with this real quick, but I'm going to throw out a trivia question for the crowd, and this is a totally subjective question. But who is the greatest backup quarterback in NFL history? And you can't go
Oh, I
Tom
know.
Brady. No. You can't go Tom Brady because he was only backup for like half a season or a
Michael
season, whatever
Penix
it
just
was.
threw an interception.
All right, but who is the greatest? And you can go into career earnings if you need to. Who's the greatest backup in NFL?
The
Football
career
history.
earnings is the dead giveaway.
No, what era? are
Hunter
we
knows.
talking?
Hunter
Are we
knows
talking-
exactly where I'm going. with
Every
this.
era.
Are we
Every
talking
era.
somewhat recently? Because there was a dude out of SC in the late 70s and early 80s that played for the Raiders and a bunch of other teams, and he was a phenomenal backup. His name was Vince Evans. I don't know if you guys remember him. That dude
This
was
is.
bad. He was
I
a dude.
promise you,
This
the
is-
scaling
this is-
that's going with right here is not off of wins or ability. It's off of the ability to make money.
Oh, okay. Greatest backup
Hey, look,
quarterback.
That's how you could tell he's good. Is how much they paid the guy.
So,
I know who it is.
so the highest
all right, hold
earning
on,
backup
hold on.
quarterback.
Hold on, we're gonna.
Did he play for Green Bay and then get benched in Seattle?
No, not him, not him.
Not him.
No. It's not Matt Flynn. I know the answer though.
Yeah.
That's what I thought because he got paid a lot of money, and then Russell Wilson put him on the bench.
But he got
this
paid
guy's
money
made
to
way,
be a
way,
starter.
way,
This
way
guy's
more
been
money.
paid a ton of money to be a backup. Matt Flynn was paid to be a starter. That was the intent. This guy's never been paid to be a starter.
All right, we got a
Oh.
winner.
Oh, okay, Chase Daniels. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good.
He's made
Chase
more money as a
Daniel.
backup than any backup in the NFL history. He's made over like $50 million. Whatever his amount of passes are to the amount of money he's made, he gets paid like $100,000 a pass.
I thought it was like $1 million a pass or something
No, I
like that.
think it
He's
was
been
million-
paid like
million.
some stupid amount of
This
money
is yours.
Yeah.
Yes, it's my iPhone.
to hold a clipboard. I mean,
Transfer it over.
I gotta respect the hustle. You know,
Well, I'm not talking about it.
game
Hey,
recognized game.
the Jets might be calling him super backup.
By the way, real quick, I want to just totally non-related. My kid's going to be in my ear a little bit because he's going to turn 13 on Tuesday, and my brother and my godson got him an iPhone. I was like, dang, my godson got all the accessories: the charger, the screen protector, the case, and my brother got the phone and the contract. He had the phone because he was paying for a phone for his youngest son, but his youngest son's working now, and he just bought his own phone and got his own plan. And my brother's been paying for a phone for like a year. It wasn't being used, so he just upgraded that line. So, but yeah, so he's gonna be in my ear trying to set it up, but he'll figure it out. He's a smart kid. All right, back to football.
Well, happy birthday to the server dude early.
Oh,
I'm getting out there early before everybody else. I'm gonna say happy birthday. I know Bocce
Yeah.
typed it before I said it, but technically I said it though.
nah, Raging. Going by what Hunter was saying, Derek Anderson was paid to be a starter after he had that fluke year in Cleveland. Then after that, he was a backup, but he was starter pay.
You gotta
Chase
you gotta
Daniels
remember
absolutely.
Derek Anderson. Okay, old school. Where Derek Anderson play? Old school. I know right now. Old school.
Derek
Jude
Anderson played
Richardson.
Cleveland.
No, old school. That means like where do you go to college?
Oh, old school. Derek Anderson. You know off the top of your head?
I bet it's a Big 12 school.
Pac-12,
Colorado.
OSU.
Oregon State. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. When you said Pac-12, it clicked. I'm like, that's right. He
Yeah.
went to Oregon State.
My brain is.
It's funny because I was going to say Oklahoma State, and then you said no Big 12, so I switched to Oregon.
Nope. You got the colors right. You got the color scheme right, but you got the
Color scheme, letters, everything.
the continent was wrong. Get it on the wrong continent.
Matthew Bocci and Raging both said happy birthday.
Shout out to Neil Brown. First 3 straight wins ever as coach of West Virginia. First win over Texas Tech at West Virginia. And yeah, I think that's about it for stats for Neil Brown in terms of firsts. But a good win, I guess. I don't really call it good. I watched that game. It was pretty bad. It was a bad game.
Yeah, but it was raining, and I think it was real windy there too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Tech tried out 2 different quarterbacks. Neither of them produced anything worth watching. But Baron Morton did almost throw the game-winning touchdown. If noted Bowie alumni Jane York, it was a pretty tough catch, to be totally honest.
And a Hill Country Cowboy.
And Hill Country Cowboy did not had made the catch. It was a tough catch. The ball that high up. Jane York's about 6'3". You know,
They have him listed at 6'4", but he's probably with his wingspan, he's probably more like about 6'8". He's got some really, really long arms.
he has some very long arms. Very happy for him that he's playing college football, getting to be in a position to do that. But it was that'd be a really tough catch, even for players that are ranked much higher than Jaden. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to squeeze and complete the catch. So Tech goes down to West Virginia, 20-13, in what is again one of the most just middle school football games you could ever watch. It's like middle school
All right.
football.
We gotta check our G5 game of the week. I think we may have picked the winner on this one.
What was the G5 game of the week? I didn't write it down, and I've been gone for a little while.
I'm looking for my notes. Give me a second.
I know where are my notes at. There they are.
My Fox skim level is very low today. Oh, I did get it. All right, here we go. We lost. Well, we won, but we lost. So our G5 game of the week was App State at Wyoming. And,
Hey, I took the Cowboys then.
okay, so the Cowboys won by. Oh no, they did. They covered. Check this out. We did win. We had the Cowboys. This is unbelievable. The Cowboys win by 3. So, but the only problem is I took the over. But I got Wyoming to cover and I got Wyoming to win, but they didn't get the over because it was 22-19. So it was only 41 points. They were at 42 and a half. 42 in the hook. They didn't get the hook.
That's why you
Theo
never
Lombardi
bet
says,
against the hook.
James Madison won.
Congrats to the Dukes. That means that the Fun Belt, other than App State, get screwed, had an undefeated day.
EMU lost.
EMU?
Yeah, Eastern Michigan. They're
They're not in the Fun Belt. They're in the MAC. It's Eastern Michigan. They're in the MAC. Oh, South Alabama lost too. That's right.
Oh yeah, they lost the Chippewas and.
But on the whole, the Fun Belt did well today. Actually, I don't really care how the Fun Belt does. I only care that one school in the Fun Belt does well.
And our upset
and
of
they
the week.
won.
And our upset of the week covered. Marshall beat Vatek.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Can we call it an? I have a question. Can we call it an upset when they are favored to win?
Oh, we gotta see how. Let's go on Butch Jones.
Marshall was minus
Watch
3.5, and won by 14 points or 7 points. They covered, and
That means they won.
I think. I mean, Marshall was the favored team. Virginia Tech, another team that might need to consider that they hired the wrong guy. Brent Pry has not done very well. They've gone downhill since he's taken over, and you talk about Penn State, like the defense at Penn State has gotten better since he left. So, something to think about.
All right, Hunter. Well, you. So
I can answer one on Joey Preciado's question about San Jose State. He said they're both known players. I know one. I think one is that redheaded dude that came in after Steve Young. What's his name? Jeff Garcia. I believe he went to San Jose State. I don't know the other one.
Joey,
tell me if I'm right.
State quarterbacks. San Jose State quarterbacks. 2 famous ones. Oh, I know who they are. Okay. Give me a second. I think I just saw this the other day. Oh, man. Drawing a blank here. I got
Chevin Cordero?
No. Old school. Very old school.
Oh, I know. Steve DeBerg.
No.
Oh, Steve DeBerg. I know. Yeah, did he go to San Jose State?
No, it's not Steve DeBerg. I saw this the other day. It was a trivia question on the game. I think it's Dick Vermeil. Or Dick Vermeil.
Really?
Oh, it was Steve DeBerg. Maybe it was Dick Vermeil went there. The laundry list of coaches that come from there is unreal. Or famous people.
I know. Not San Jose State, but my favorite coach in Division I football was a solid backup for Fresno State. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Pete Carroll was a backup quarterback?
No, he went to the University of Pacific and he played defensive back. I'm talking about the KIF, the KIF train, baby, the lane train.
Well, the lane train got
ran
off the rails.
Man. I had a bad week. Dude, they couldn't do anything. They were up 7-3. It was great. Then they were up 7-6, and Alabama kept, just methodically moving forward.
Alabama for a reason. It's still Nick Saban. Like,
Well, you got to admit, man, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, losing by 14 to Alabama, if you were Ole Miss, they would have loved that. They expect more now that Lane's there, but man, he just can't get over that hump. 2 years ago, he almost had him.
I think.
Yeah, it was Jeff Garcia and Steve Bird.
I think something to consider there for like the Alabama's over party is that it's still Alabama. Like, yes, Texas did go and dominate them. But maybe that's not because it's an indictment on Alabama. That may just be a talk of how good Texas is. I'm not a big Texas is back guy. I never will be. Until they win the national championship. Then we'll talk about it.
Man, that's going to be a while, dude.
But then they'll never be back, and that's just how it is,
Shannon?
right?
How you doing today, Shannon?
They're good. They will. I think. No, obviously, this isn't. What do you call it when you said our
transitive properties?
Transitive properties.
When we're talking about like a big prediction, but this is like a big prediction, but it's not because I mean it's obvious as well.
Yeah.
But Sark will win a national title at he has a way better chance of winning a national title at Texas than Kiff does of winning a national title at Ole Miss. Because even though I think Kiff is a better coach, Sark, just because they're Texas, is going to get better players.
I mean, I think it's a bit of that.
I kind of disagree with that a little bit, but I'll elaborate here in a second.
I will say that, like, Kiffin has a maybe better looking offense, but it's also an offense. My problem with Lane Kiffin's offense, and I like his offense a lot, but one of the biggest problems with his offense is that basically screws the defense because they run plays so fast, and if they don't work, as a defensive player, I have a defensive mind about a lot of stuff about football. Really, you go out, you go produce a 3-and-out, come off the field, you're ready to sit down, get your water, get ready for the next series. Your offense in about a minute of game time maybe goes 3-and-out.
I just don't get it.
And now you're back up and on the field.
He's not running the offense that maybe it's because of personnel. I mean, it has to be, I'm guessing, but that, give it to the running back, that RPO quarterback keep, and then, 3rd and 7, you got to throw the ball. It's like what Lindsay was saying in the chat, it's something obvious. A reporter's going to say, oh, it seems like the running game's not working very well, so you're throwing on 3rd down a lot. Come on, you're it's the freaking obvious. What are you going to do? And by the way, I don't know how I put a W at the end of Shannon. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's my I'm typing my slurs because I'm drinking my Miller Lite. I don't know, because W is nowhere near N.
No, but Shannon was a really cool name, and that's how you get a nickname.
So Shannon, from now on, you'll be known as Chanel.
I'm not kidding. I looked at that, then I looked at my keyboard, and I was like, "Wow!"
But you can really say, but you can say that with a lot of pizzazz. Chanel. I mean, it sounds like that's superhero level.
And wasn't there an infomercial guy that said that, something like that?
ShamWow. Yeah,
ShamWow.
A guy named Vince, who's I forget his last name. He's a pitchman.
Shalomi.
Yeah, because he was.
Then he got beat up by a transvestite hooker.
Yeah. What happened? What?
We're not going to spread rumors.
That's a true story.
Allegedly.
No,
We're putting
it up on there.
No. Cancel ops.
I'm just going to call Shannon ShamWow from now on. ShamWow.
Sorry.
And you have to do it like jazz hands. ShamWow. It's going to work. You get a theme song going, Shannon. It'll be great. Maybe get a crew to follow you around.
I think the Mission Impossible song should follow him around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I think he's good enough. He deserves an original tune.
Well, but you got to think about it. Mission Impossible.
Man, Alex Grinch's defense is really showing up right now, letting Arizona State convert 3rd downs at will.
but he's mission very possible.
Come on.
Hey, look, they play offense
We-
with
we
or they play
know-
defense with their offense.
I think we all know that USC is not going to win a national title with their defense. You know, Caleb Williams has yet to throw or complete less than 72% of his passes this year, and that's what's going to win us the national title. What is
You
he?
know,
What is he today? I'm serious. He is for the season. I think he's at 75%, and I think his worst game was 72%. I mean, that dude's just. Today he's got one touchdown pass and 2 runs. I mean, oh man, I don't know, man. I mean, I think he might even be playing like, damn, I want to play more than just 2 quarters. You know, just sandbagging.
I remember something about USC and their interior offensive line being a weakness at one point, but it was Lendale White was so big that it just didn't matter, and
Oh,
he would get the first down to win the national title anyway.
I got to figure out how to do the.
Just defense.
I got to
has
figure
be
out how to
better.
do polls because Lendale White has the greatest stiff arm in college football history. There's not
Oh,
another
man.
better one. I think he's still got there's an imprint of his hand in Michael Huff's chest.
Was it
Michael
Michael
still
Huff?
did catch a pick.
No,
Yeah,
it was the.
It wasn't Michael Griffin. It was Michael.
No,
I'm
not
almost
Michael Griffin.
certain
It was the dude who Pete Carroll drafted, the safety.
That's Michael Griffin.
Michael Huff.
No, not Michael Huff.
Griff was drafted by the
No.
Titans.
Who was the one that
Oh.
flipped off Pete Carroll?
That was what am I thinking? Drawing a blank here.
This is my favorite part of the podcast. We just keep going back to 2007 or 5.
Dude, I'm telling you. And of course, it's my least favorite part.
I don't know. Anyways, I can see his face. He was going to be a Cowboy, and then the Cowboys were like, "No thanks."
Well,
Yeah.
onto football that's happened in the last few days. Oh, Arizona State has a throwback convoy, first down to the 15-yard line.
Look,
I like how I have
Alex,
Tim
look, Alex
Brando
Grinch
calling
and-
this game.
Hold on a second. Alex Grinch and Caleb Williams worked this out pregame. So Caleb went up to Alex and he was like, "Hey, I need you to give up some points so I can play more than 2 quarters."
He's just trying to get some stats. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get that
You know,
stat
hopefully,
game up.
hopefully he's not like, hopefully his NIL deal is not based on quarters of play. Because right now he might be going to, check out a loan or something.
Well, hopefully he signed an NIL deal that doesn't make it to where he has to pay back part of his NFL money, like what's his name did. Unfortunate situation there, but that's why you always read the contracts you sign, kids.
That's actually kind of cool collection.
Update on the gentleman's bet of 1 cent. Fresno State is leading Kent State 36-10. Washington leads Cal 38-12. So currently, I believe by the numbers, they're both achieving the same blowout number.
There's still plenty of football to play. I don't know why we're poking fun at it.
Oh yeah, that's the Coyotes.
Arizona
Well,
State just missed
I will
touchdown.
say that
Where's
Cal.
Joey at? How is Joey not up here on the panel? And what happened to Christian? I told Christian to jump
He
on.
probably
I
fell
gave him a
asleep.
link.
He's got to get his rest in to get yoked.
Save my back.
13 or 14. How old is Christian? He's in the 8th
don't know.
grade. Only
I think I
26
was
undefeated
13.
teams left.
No, I was 12, but I was young. So
Only 26 undefeated teams left. The Shanhouse Shuffle.
oh,
I gotta put Jude in charge. We gotta say hi to Theo Lombardi.
I said hi to him.
He's a new name. I haven't seen.
Yeah,
him.
I thought
Thank
I
you.
said hi to him earlier.
shit.
All right.
Oh no, I didn't say hi. I told him because he was talking about rank after today. Louisville and Missouri should be ranked. And I said, yeah, maybe Theo.
Louisville definitely. Missouri.
Missouri beat Kansas State. They should have been ranked last week.
And they did defeat Memphis somewhat convincingly. Give it to them. Why not?
They're at a concert.
I think there's.
I mean, Colorado will be ranked.
Nina?
Ole Miss might be
All
number
right.
25. They might
so
drop.
I'll say
out.
this: if
You look great.
if Colorado's still ranked next week and Missouri's not, then there's a sham there.
I mean, UCLA will
What's
drop.
the bottom five? Because when I was a kid, the top 25 or AP top 25 used to be the top 20. They didn't make it the top 25 to sometime in the 90s or 2000s. Who's the last five right now?
I think you got to put I think number 25 is probably Kentucky.
And they're playing good football.
Uh,
There you go, Cass. I said hi.
number 24 would be Louisville.
Change it for me.
Number 23. I don't know.
Who's the current number 23?
I don't think they played this week. I can't find it. UCLA, I think, drops out there. 22, they lost. Colorado, certainly hope
they lost
drops.
a close game, 14-7. Very low scoring.
Tennessee is number 23, and they dominated UTSA 45-14. UTSA did battle back to make it 14-31, and then Tennessee kind of put a kibosh on that and end of the game.
Tennessee's not going to creep above the U. The U is definitely better than Tennessee.
The U's moving up, no doubt about that. They dominated their opponent. They'll move up. I think there's be a lot of movement in the sub 15, in the below the top 10. There'll be a lot of movement.
What about
certainly
Ole Miss? They're number 15 right now. You think they stay in the top 20 or go?
Yeah, they're going to be. I bet they're going to be about 23. You lost.
Maybe
they
they'll
lost
be
their
23.
They lost their first game of the year to Alabama, but they didn't look good doing it.
No,
It
their
wasn't a
offense.
good look.
I mean, they might not stay in the top 25. That's the whole deal. They lost by
State's probably going to be in
14
the
points.
Oregon State will probably be in the bottom five. They'll
Yeah,
be probably close to
that's
20.
I was actually really, even though I know I picked them, but besides just because of my pick, I wanted Washington State to win because they were in the 22 and Oregon State was 13. So I figured if they swap places, at least two Pac-12 teams still stay in the top 25. Didn't happen.
The other thing you need to look at is
on UCLA, but I'm okay with that because they have
the
UCLA.
back end, the back 10 of the top 25. Really, look at that because you had Colorado losing, UCLA lost, Ole Miss lost, Oregon State lost, even though they're in the top one.
I mean, Arizona State will
Oklahoma-
probably be ranked after they
Oklahoma
beat
didn't
USC.
Duke won. Miami was dominant today when they needed to be.
Oh, I needed that. That was good.
But
um,
I agree that Louisville and Missouri should be ranked, but I don't know. I'm the worst.
I think
to ask
Kentucky
about
should be too.
rankings because
Kentucky's 4-0.
I undervalue rankings a lot because
Clemson will probably fall out again. They were number.
they weren't in. They were out.
Were they ranked?
No,
They shouldn't have been.
They were out.
Oh, I thought they. Oh, I'm looking at. Okay, they weren't ranked. All right, so they're not going to go in. How did Florida do today?
They
They won.
like 26-7 or 21-7 or it was
What about Iowa?
22-7.
Did Penn State?
Iowa got blanked by
Beat
Penn
up.
State.
Good. So they're out.
31 to nothing. 31. But Iowa State scored 34 points today. Jude, can you believe that? Iowa State's not going to score 34 points the rest of the season.
Probably not the rest of the year.
They could score 100 every game except for one, and I wouldn't care.
I bet you they took the over. What do you want to bet?
They definitely hit it. The
Oh,
over under that game was 40. So
yeah.
consider. And they won by a touchdown. And the spread was 3.5.
3 in the hook.
3 in the hook, and they won by 7.
Caleb Williams is going to scramble. He's diving in and out. I don't like him getting hit this much, especially on his legs as he's falling. It's my least
Another team that should be ranked, Syracuse.
Oh, they look real good today.
They've looked real good all year.
They have. I agree. You're right. They look real good all year.
Lindsay,
I
you're
hope
being
that we
awful
start
quiet.
to see some. I hope we start to see some teams that are like battling for these ranked positions start to play, just so we can kind of really sort out who's worthy of their spots.
Well, Ohio State has to play Michigan. That's gonna happen.
But that won't happen till the end of the year.
It doesn't matter. They're still gonna have to play. I think Penn State has to play Ohio State, don't they, this year?
And they also have to play. So Penn State plays Michigan and Ohio State every year. Ohio State plays Penn State and Michigan every year. Michigan plays Ohio State and Penn State every year. They're all in the Big Ten West.
Thanks.
Along with Maryland, who unfortunately will probably get slaughtered. Or fortunately,
Maryland's
depending who you
undefeated,
ask.
aren't they?
Yeah, but it's foosball.
Maybe they should be ranked as well. I think Kansas
They almost
should
lost
be
to
ranked.
Charlotte. All right, well, too many
Kansas should be
people need to be ranked, and we're running out of spots.
I'll tell you, who doesn't need to be ranked? Colorado.
Or UCLA.
Or UCLA. How Texas A&M do today, Hunter?
They beat Auburn. You could say they dominated them convincingly. It was convincing. You knew who the better team was first the whole game.
So what are
Um,
okay, so is there a controversy in College Station? Quarterback controversy in College Station now?
No, Max Johnson had 2 good drives, and it's like, oh, and then like it's like return to earth. They won.
Should
I would still roll with
should
Connor
Texas
Wigman.
A&M roll into the top 25 now?
No, they got blown out by. They played Miami and got blown out. That still holds them back. They didn't blow out Auburn. I mean, they dominated them, but they didn't blow them out.
What about Fresno State, guys? Are we forgetting to even talk about them?
They have 2 Power 5 wins.
Yeah, they do.
I think
They have to beat. They have to beat.
they got to finish out Kent
They got to
State.
beat Kent State. They got to beat Kent State by a 50-point delta. It's got to be like a 50-point differential.
They have to really kill Kent State.
All right, that's enough. If we can't bring up Bruce Jenner pre.
Very well.
Family Guy. If you're a fan of Family Guy, they had that Bruce Jenner thing pinned way before the surgery.
Oh, good. They predict the future sometimes. Freaking adult cartoons predict the future.
The Simpsons are good for that, from what I understand.
I haven't watched The Simpsons since like Hunter was a kid. They had this time when they played every Simpsons episode ever, and it was like it took like a month or 6 years or something like that.
I think it was like 6
Theo,
weeks. We watched a good chunk of it. Or at least we watched a lot of the early stuff. I remember that. I think I was like 14.
It's the last
or
time
something.
I watched The Simpsons. The Washington's
Same
up
here.
on Cal right now, 45-12.
Let's go Huskies. Let me win my gentleman's bet of ascent.
All right. So what I would say on that, Theo, what I would say is you have to go and you have to judge it like under two things, right? Now a win is a win, right? You shouldn't lose your place if you win, but technically Penn State beat a ranked opponent, and Washington's going to beat Cal, and Cal lost last week to whom?
All right, I'll give you the scenario. If Washington beats Cal 70-12, then maybe. If not, Penn State blanked and blew out Iowa. So Penn State should maybe move up.
I think
But-
Washington should be ranked higher than where they are. Like,
Should Oregon
would it
move?
bother me if
They
Washington?
housed Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, what if Texas is like 5 or 6 next week, and
What
Washington?
about TCU? They look pretty good today, and they bounced
No,
back. Even though that Colorado
they
lost
played,
it.
they played an AAC team. It doesn't help even at all. Even though it's a rivalry game, they look.
They still haven't
Mediocre.
played anyone I respect. Let's see what they do next week.
Who does TCU play next week?
I don't know.
Does Colorado still receive votes next week? Others.
Oh my
receive-
God, Caleb Williams threw that right to the Arizona State defender. He just happened to throw it so hard the guy couldn't catch it. It bounced off of him.
No, if the coaches are voting on Colorado State or Colorado be ranked next week, then Dion's the only person that's going to vote for them.
They'll probably receive some votes, but I don't see them having it. I mean, this will be a topic we can discuss. Like, I think LSU should move down. If you really want my honest opinion on who should move up and down, LSU should move down. They shouldn't be kicked out. They won, but they should probably lose 2 spots, 3 maybe. Alabama shouldn't really move at all. Maybe move up 1 or 2. Washington State should move up a lot. I mean, they went and won.
Yeah, especially if they're undefeated, they need to be in. Like, this is where the undefeated need to be in front of the one-loss teams. You know.
Yeah,
But
I think I think that
What
should be
about
a
them
thing.
Duke Blue Devils?
They're undefeated. They should move
Yeah.
up.
Looking great.
They
Sure.
dominated. They dominated a Clemson team that Florida State struggled with.
well, they played. So what didn't help them today is they played Connecticut, and Connecticut's really bad. And they
They
didn't
won
score
41-7.
1,000.
They took care of business.
They didn't score 1,000 points. They need to
Didn't
score
need to.
1,000.
They didn't need to. They beat them 41-7, and it was so convincing. You watch that game, and you're like, I know who the better team is. I know which team's significantly better than the other. That's a blowout enough, right? You don't need 89-0 these days. Like, Duke's not an air raid team. They never will be. Well, maybe they will be, but not right now.
But once again, Duke's going to have to play within their conference too.
So Duke and North Carolina should absolutely jump Ole Miss and Oregon State.
No doubt. They're both undefeated. And both those teams have 1 loss.
Yeah.
You know, like
Utah
there's just-
Utah had an ugly win against UCLA, but they'll probably just linger there. They might drop a spot, they might stay up a spot. What helps them is that Notre Dame lost.
Well, the whole deal is, does Utah's ranking change when Cam Rising comes back? Do they go up
only
when
if
he's
they,
back?
Only if they continue to play like they are. But right now, you know, they have the best defense in the Pac-12, hands down.
Well, I would have said until today I would have said Oregon State does, but no.
Hey, what's up with the coaches, folks? Usually they're pretty close to the AP, but there's a lot of discrepancies here this week.
It's week 3.
Well, it's
4.
technically this is week 4, but this is one of those deals. I mean, it's just like I said. Once the computer rankings are coming out from the college football playoff, it's going to change everything. So
No, it's committee ranking. It's 12 people.
And what was that computer ranking called that came out that was in like the mid
BCS,
2000s?
and it was better.
Yeah.
It was better than the voting on the having this unbiased sports writers vote for a national champion. I think Lindsay
For all the
maybe
problems the
possibly
BCS, I
suffered a
would.
stroke. Hello, Lindsay.
I liked the BCS.
Well, his eyes moved. He might be okay.
I'm awake.
Well, no, we were worried if you had a stroke, if you'd have gone
No.
the way of
A power stroke.
Oh,
No,
I didn't know if you were like you and Mitch McConnell were going to start hanging out do the dribble
I
rack.
see that,
crew.
Jude.
no.
Maybe
There's
they
just
should.
plenty of.
Maybe
I would do.
USC should move down for struggling with Arizona
I would-
State.
I would do nothing to improve the lively conversation.
It
Well, I
really
don't
just
know.
feels like me and Jude arguing.
Yeah, I'm going
That's
to
the way the text messages feel. When I read the text messages, I'm like,
We should, we should have a weekly spot where we read text messages from fans.
oh, that's
Fans,
an idea.
I think
But
it's
I'm not
more
gonna
so
put a
between
number
Jude
out.
and I.
If you have I'd say the comment of the week. We gotta have the comment of the week.
I like that. That'd be pretty cool.
So
Is there a way to
talk-
save the live chat?
Yeah.
If you go back and watch it after the fact, like tomorrow afternoon, it'll have the live chat. Like even if
Hey,
you
I'm
skip
gonna-
ahead, if you
I
skip
hate
ahead,
to,
it'll take you to where you are in the video for where the live chat
I
is.
hate to be a negative Nancy, but we're only averaging about 4 people a stream, so we're pretty much seeing the whole chat.
Let's go, Jude. Hey, shout out to Hawaii and New Mexico State, who just kicked off.
At least it's not.
At 9:00 Pacific time, which is midnight. That is crazy.
Midnight where I'm at.
You know,
Hey,
the first
this is what time that Colorado and Colorado State kicked off last week.
there's a picture I have on some SD card somewhere where Matthew was. Let me see. He was born September 26th, so October, November 26th. He was 2 months and 8 days old. And USC played at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. It was a 7:45 kickoff. And at the end of the game, I got a picture of me holding him, and I've got him all bundled up. He's got a USC blanket, he's got a USC beanie, everything's all USC out. But because it's cold, you know, it's December and it's nighttime, all you can really see are his eyes. But his eyes are like so wide open. He's like, and I posted that picture on Facebook, and all my friends were like, dude, his first game, he was stoked. They won. We are there. That was a Matt Barkley game, Joey, where they won 28-0. But yeah, his first game, and it was a late kickoff, just like well, Hawaii's even later right now, but man, it was crazy the way they kicked off. These West Coast games, man, that's
classic Pac-12 after dark. Now we're gonna have Big Ten after dark. That's gonna be wild. Like you're gonna have like Rutgers playing USC. You know, they'll just flown across the country to play USC. The players will be tired as all get out. The game will probably kick at 7 p.m. Central Time.
I think when that happens, they're going to have to the networks anyways. They're going to have to do something about it because they're not going to get people watching that late. You know, people are going to be asleep.
Yeah.
They're
Sorry
banking
for yawning on
they're
TV,
banking
y'all.
on the brand Four Locos.
Bocce, you certainly do comment the most. I don't think it's even
Yes.
close.
Agreed.
We just need her to start talking shit. You know what I mean? Like she just needs to be like.
I just wish
Let me tell you something.
She needs to type with her Boston accent.
Or maybe we get Lindsay to translate everything that she.
Yeah, Lindsay has
into
to read her
spoken
comments.
words.
Lindsay, you got to read her comments in a Boston accent.
Another great G5 game that we didn't talk about, but I want to mention real quick, since we're kind of just off the rails at this point, is Western Kentucky and Troy. Two good G5 teams showed down, and Troy came out with the win, 27-24. It was, from what I saw, a fairly exciting game. Something I didn't expect to see, though, is that Gunnar Watson outdueled Austin Reed. Gunnar Watson, 22 of 35, 349 yards and a touchdown. Austin Reed, 24 for 40 for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gunnar Watson was slinging it all over the yard. One of the nation's best running backs, Kamani Vidal, 26 carries for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. So really, a real offensive showcase for Troy. In all facets. Through the air, I mean, 340 plus yards through the air. You can't scoff at that. 200 yards on the ground. That's what you want to see. Some good football.
Yeah, it's definitely good to watch stuff like that. But I really enjoy those games.
You know, here at Wide Right CFB, we are small school football fans. So, if you like small school football, your friends like small school football, I will talk about it because I have nothing better to do.
Yeah, we love small schools like Texas and SC and Boston College and.
Well, I love Texas State small school. I love the entire Sun Belt. I will talk about every school in the Sun Belt, even the one I don't like.
I agree.
When you mean
They're
small, do you mean on accomplishment? Because it's like the third largest university in the state.
Shut up.
I
Second, by the way.
No, I do like to watch some small schools play.
I think Texas State officially passed up UT in enrollment numbers.
Technically, TCU is
not
a small
quality.
school.
Small in terms of athletic departments.
I want to go hang out with Joey and watch UC Davis play Sac State, man. I think that'd be a cool game and be cool to watch a game with Joey at a stadium.
Well,
Theo said he went to Coastal Carolina, so he is disappointed.
Who?
He works.
Oh, he went to
says,
Coastal?
I work at.
Yeah.
No, he says I work at Coastal, so I'm just
Work at
I
Coastal.
work at Coastal. I'm sorry. I work at Coastal.
Yeah, very
at
well.
Chanticleers.
I hope he's not on the coaching
Chance.
staff.
So, do you have any insider knowledge? Steve? Anything you'd like to?
This is
He's
like the
still
Coastal
boss.
equipment guy. You know, like this is like the analytics guy. We actually have the,
Hey,
the
we
in on the
we
in.
do know somebody that works for Nebraska, Hunter.
Who do we know that would punch themselves like that?
Caleb Jones.
Oh, that's right. He is a. I
bet
think
we
it's
could-
something
I
to do
bet
with
we could-
recruiting.
No, I think he works in the.
Huh?
I think he works in the like training department, like athletic training. You know what we should do was we should reach out to him and see if he would want to come on if he had time.
Something to look at.
But we have to get to 50 subscribers first. We'll have any of our big interviews. Right now, we're still at 46. So if you want to see a former college and pro football player and maybe throw a question out there that we'll ask them during our interview process, then you have to go and get us to the 50 subscriber mark.
You know what? I just thought of something that can definitely get people to watch our show. You know, dudes like college football and dudes love car chases. So we just got to, one of us has to get the cops to chase us, and on top of the car, put Wide Right CFB Thursday nights on.
I think we
on
should
YouTube.
go. I think we should go like from the movie Used Cars. I think we should have like strippers. And we
Yeah,
can-
there you
We
go.
can blow away the competition.
I told you I watched that movie, right? That movie's great, dude.
Who's your favorite character in the movie Used Cars?
Well, it's hard not to say Kurt Russell because he's my favorite, one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
But oh man, the dude's daughter played a good part. Man, I you know what? I kind of like the old man, dude. The way he was kind of like he stood his ground right up until he died. I kind of like that. That was pretty cool.
I think Jack Wardenbright had the best character because he played kind of 1.5 people in the show in the movie. But Kurt Russell's one was pretty solid too. It's a solid, funny movie. It's like one of those movies that never gets like Coming to America. Coming to America just doesn't get old. And I'm still watching Northwestern beat Minnesota right now. Bocce, can you watch with all four at one time so we can boost our numbers here?
USC is up 21-13, looking very pedestrian at halftime today.
Hey,
Washington
Caleb
State.
Williams is excited because he gets to play two halves of football.
He probably did that on purpose. I want to see what the third quarter feels like.
If it's still close, are you going to be nervous?
Oh, no. This. I mean, October 14th, man. That's the day I'm looking forward to. I would have loved to have Notre Dame be undefeated at that time, but I guess that's not meant to be.
Yeah, and Colorado, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
But
that
see,
would-
the whole deal is everybody's got to play somebody going down the road, right? So whether they're undefeated or not, they still have to play somebody. So there's a good chance they're going to lose. But it's not what their record is now. It's what their record's going to be. Is what you how you got to look at it. Like you gotta look at
SC's got a
Notre
tough.
Dame.
SC's
Yeah,
got a
absolutely.
tough schedule. We got Notre Dame, we got UCLA, we have Utah, we have Washington and Oregon. I kept telling everyone that Ole Miss had the toughest schedule in the nation, but SC's right there.
It's one of those deals, though. I mean, like if they win, they're in, right? There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It doesn't matter how the rest of the Pac-12 finishes. It's winning, you're in, right? A team like let's say Fresno State has no chance, right? And if they did have a chance, their chance would have to be, they had to beat everybody by 70, and then maybe. it's just not gonna be. It's just not what you think. It's just like Washington. Like the Pac-12 is gonna settle itself out. What I don't like is whenever people go, they get like the SEC, like, whoa, one played three, so three lost, or one lost to three, so we need to have them both in there. That's stupid. You're out. You lost.
I mean, the only
It's like TCU. TCU shouldn't have been in the national championship game last year. They beat Michigan. What did they do? They shouldn't have been there. They lost. They didn't win their championship. They didn't win their championship. They lost their last regular season game of the year, basically.
Essentially, that Ohio State Georgia game was the national championship.
Yeah, that was a good game. And then Georgia got to play a team that had no business being there. It is what it is.
And it sucks because they're going to say, "Oh, look what we did against Michigan. Yeah, dude, you guys balled out, whatever. But you guys should not have been in the."
In my opinion, I don't think there was a better team, a more deserving team to be there. Like, yeah, they did lose their conference title game, but there's no more deserving team. The only other team deserving was maybe Alabama, who had lost 2 games, or USC, who lost 3 games, or Utah, maybe, who lost 3 games.
I would pick Utah over SC because they beat 2 of our 3 losses were the were at the time when they were picking them. Both of our losses were to Utah.
I mean, maybe you could have put Tulane with 2 losses. I don't know. I think TCU is the team to put there.
It's tough because when you have a Cinderella story, I mean, man, they get that sentimental feeling that people want to put them in. Even though they don't have a chance. Like, just think back. I know there have been games like where Utah beat Alabama, but most of the time, like when Cincinnati played Georgia, everybody, Cincinnati made a New Year's Day bowl. Come on, Georgia smoked them. Hawaii made a New Year's Day bowl. I forget who they played, and they got smoked.
Georgia.
Was it Georgia too? Yeah, but there's these teams that come out of the non-Power 5 conferences that usually make a New Year's Day bowl. They're happy stories, but they're not happy endings because they usually end up getting smoked.
I mean, Cincinnati lost to Georgia on a last-second field goal, so I'll give them that. Then the next year they lost to Alabama, but they did give that Alabama team basically the roughest run for that 2020 Alabama team or 2021 Alabama team a pretty good run until Georgia crushed them. But that Georgia team had one of the, if not the best defense in the country.
I guess I had your mom.
Maybe in the last 10 years. Hi, Mom. But I like seeing the small schools. I like seeing the Boise States against Oklahomas. You know what I mean? So
usually when there's someone with like 3 names like that, I would have put like the initials, and I started to type "Hey LSD," and I said, I think I'm just gonna put lazy.
Oh yeah, I would have gone with that.
Yeah. And now we know.
Which one? There's 2 of them on the broadcast here. We're going to go for about 11 more minutes. So.
All right. I'll stick around then. New Mexico State strikes first, taking lead against Hawaii 7-0.
Lindsay, your second favorite team took an L today. The Minutemen from UMass lost an overtime
my second
to the
thing.
University.
Yeah, no surprise there.
What about an update on your Sleuth Service team?
I don't see what they were doing today. I was just looking at the trailer to Used Cars. I have got to see this movie.
Oh, you've never seen that? That's how I was about 6 months ago, or 8 months ago. Cass was like, "You like Kurt Russell and you've never seen Used Cars?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "You got to see it." So I went on Plex and watched it.
I never even heard of it. The trailer looks like it's exactly the kind of movie that my wife and I would enjoy. It's got that silly '80s kind of Animal House look to it. Everything's absurd and
And that's
over
pretty
the top.
much exactly. You nailed it right there.
Perfect. That's exactly our kind of movie.
I mean, the intelligence level in this movie is up there.
To close out my
Michael.
thoughts on college football this week, there are 5 teams that have yet to win a game in 2023.
Wow.
Oh,
One
no
is
surprise! The
University
Merchant
of
Marines
Virginia.
beat SUNY Maritime 36-19.
Ooh.
Good for them.
You called that.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout
How
out to the
about
Merchant
my
Marine
Falcons?
Academy, whose cadets come here and have no respect for actual. I'm gonna stop. Stop.
For actual what?
Nothing.
For
Huh?
enjoyment of college football,
Well-
they're not big fans of Division One college football because they're fans of D3 college football. So
Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of our service academies, man, how about my Falcons?
They're
they-
the best service
last
academy. Until proven otherwise, they're the best service academy football team.
well, no, the Merchant
Playing
Marine
well.
Academy might have something to say about that.
I don't know. What are the records of all the service academies so far?
Well, Army lost today to Syracuse, so
Hmm.
it's definitely
So they're not 3-0.
Navy's 1-2.
So they're not 3-0.
Air Force is 4-0.
Air Force is
Wow.
4-0.
Okay. All right.
That would make them the best.
Fair enough. Well,
But to agree with Lindsay, they are not 3-0.
see? So only the Merchant Marine Academy is 3-0.
Ergo facto, they're the best though.
Am I right?
Sure.
I like how
Why not?
we pretended.
I like
that
Merchant
this
Marines uniforms. I'll give them that. I like the
Stoking a rivalry.
I like the uniforms that even the Merchant Marine Academy cadets wear. It looks really similar to the ones I wear, except mine are real.
All right, stop.
Well,
A little bit of gamesmanship.
that's okay. Nothing
Um,
wrong with that. The Merchant Marine industry, though, is
Very important.
much larger than any other service academy industry, if you can call it that.
Very well.
You struck a chord with Lindsay. Way to go.
You know, when you adopt a service academy, you do it for a reason.
I adopted the
Look,
Coast
I
Guard
don't. It's not
Academy
like I
because
really
nobody else
want
took
Navy
them.
anymore. All right, I just have to take Navy. Okay,
You want-
I just
Hey, you
have
can
to
do a
take.
mid-course. Hey, do a mid-course correction,
No,
like
no,
like
it'd be,
like a ship at sea.
it'd be disingenuous to. It's not like I can't adopt OCS. There's no football team. All you do is run and scream.
Some schools call that football.
No, there's no fun. Football has fun somewhere. There's no fun at OCS.
Man, I want to tell the story so bad, but it's one of the kids I want to bring on for our interview with Big Star, I guess. And he played college football at A&M, and he made his way up to the second team, and he fucked up a snap, and he got called like the worst names by Jimbo Fisher for the rest of the week.
We will. He will definitely tell that story.
Yeah,
So-
I gotta have him tell the story
Little
because he tells it so
teaser.
much
Little
better.
teaser.
Little teaser.
Prepare him for
But-
this Thursday because I promise you we'll be at 50 by Wednesday.
All right, I'll call him.
Jude's
Monday.
already making the accounts right now.
no. For real accounts, I promise.
Server dudes there.
If
So
we
we'll do
hit
number
50
2.
subscribers on Wednesday, if we hit 50 on Wednesday, I will introduce a fairly mediocre former junior high school football player to the channel.
Is that
Are you talking
yourself?
about Christian?
I don't want to brag. No, Christian was probably way better than I was in junior high. Actually, it wasn't bad. But that was a long time ago.
Let's ask Hunter. Hunter, what position did you play in junior high?
Wide receiver.
Oh,
No.
and
Let's
corner.
be honest. What position did you really play in junior high?
I was the starting corner, which shows you how bad we were.
All right.
In junior high, I
So-
was starting center.
So
That's what
Hunter
that's
played.
what I should have been.
So y'all, I'm not sure if y'all know about this. So Hunter played ass back when he was in football. You know,
Get
every
your
time
ass
he ran
back
out
on
on the
the
field, the coach was like, "Nichols, get your ass back."
Get your ass back here. What do you think you're doing? Running to the huddle.
No, I was legitimately a corner, and I was a corner and a wide receiver. And the scariest thing is that I didn't really play wide receiver. That was just like my offensive position. And then our starting wide receiver got hurt, so I ended up having to go in the game. And then we ran basically a wing T-esque offense of some type. And there was a play that we had in the playbook where it's basically an end around, but you threw the ball. The coach calls that play, and I'm supposed to throw the ball, and I look back at the sideline like, no. Because, one, I wasn't going to – that was me as a passer, especially in the 8th grade. No athletic talent there. 2, our team could not block. So – or catch. So, no. I don't know why that play was there.
Hunter did a lot better when he got older in high school. Kind of like what I said in the story. But there was another time they were playing the Clint Small Middle School, and the starting running back that actually played football with Hunter in high school fumbled the ball. He was running a touchdown. He fumbled the ball. He had to turn around and jog back like 20 yards, pick up the ball. Then he ran in for a touchdown before they got down.
No, he was the quarterback. So he was running. He goes and hits like a linebacker, fumbles the ball,
He has to
picks the
run
ball
and pick
back
the
up,
ball.
looks at his hands, stops for a second, and then proceeds to run past all of us and score. Like,
Oh, man. You remember?
I played at a
Tecmo
very
whenever you played
bad
Tecmo
middle
Bowl,
school.
You could go and you could run the guy like in a circle, and then all of a sudden he had like this all-world speed, or maybe that was for the Commodore 64. But they had like this football
Whoa,
game where
Commodore
you,
64. Wow, we're going way back.
you had to go and
Hey,
you
we're
ran
not
him in
talking about the ZX Spectrum here.
a circle.
You
He'd,
said he
he'd
got
get up
better.
like speed.
When you said he got better, I thought you were going to say he went from ass back to guard and tackle. You know, guard and tackle.
Oh, yeah.
You guard the Gatorade bottle and tackle anyone that gets close to it.
And guard and tackle.
No, that's what I played in Little League. I played guard and
You gotta
tackle.
set him up.
In guard and tackle, Hunter. You sat at the end of the bench, you guarded the water bucket, and you tackled anybody that came near it.
That's right. I was the best.
You went to Dripping Springs?
No,
No.
Hunter went to Bowie.
I went to Bowie. I went to James Bowie High School.
Yeah,
But
there's
In
two
your
different
defense,
Bowies.
isn't Texas high school football some of the best high school football in the country? I mean, isn't that where they have the Friday night lights? Isn't that all based on Texas high school
Yeah.
football?
Yeah, just not
Oh,
Bowie
Brian-
High School though.
Friday
Hey,
Friday
well,
Night Lights
hey,
is
the
actually
one-
based on
Sure. Yeah.
The
Odessa
one year I
Farming.
was on varsity, we happened to be the best varsity team my high school's ever had.
Well,
That's true.
And you can't deny that. The only team that may be able to have been the only team Bowie ever produced that may have been able to beat us would have been the team that Michael Griffin played on, only because he was literally
No,
the
it
whole
was,
team.
It was CV's team.
hey, it could have been worse. You could have been playing for Crockett or Reagan.
I would have started, and oh god, we would have been so bad. Ugh. No, I'm happy with my high school football career. I was completely satisfied with it when it ended. Unfortunate how it did, but
Tell
It's-
everybody
it's
where
all
your
right.
last high school football game was at, Hunter.
McLean Stadium.
The same place where Texas played Baylor tonight.
Nice.
I stood on that field. We were on the visitors. We were actually on the home side.
Yep.
Very nice stadium. I have nothing but great things to say about it. It was a good experience. But we if there's any sort of if there's something that you wanted done differently in that game, what would it be? And you could talk for us, we could talk about how we should have thrown the ball more in that game or not. For me, it was that I thought that they should have put the seniors in. There's a point in the game where we knew that it was basically over. There are about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and basically just put the seniors in. Let's get one last game.
Oh, you have to, man. That's last game of the year. You got.
Well, the whole deal is that like we had this offense that could score in an instant. I think the coaches kind of thought that maybe we could pull it out, and just it wasn't really feasible. We all kind of knew our defense just couldn't generate a stop. We just what had happened is that like they ran the option, and our linebacker that would basically be the cleanup guy on the option had a broken ankle, or like a very injured ankle, so he couldn't make. He basically, if you cut in front of him, left or right, he could not tackle you. He's in so much pain.
This is that on the.
And so it's kind of like an unfortunate calamity of events.
You already said that?
So for us, we were kind of like, coach, like just put us in.
Just switch your information over.
That's my only thing. But
Here's the deal: they would have probably, had they won that game, they would have won every other game leading up to the state championship game, because the teams that they would have played, they would have beaten. And there were some really good teams, like historic teams like Allen, which is where Kyler Murray went to high school, and they have like a $20 million high school stadium. They would have beaten Westlake, which is where Drew Brees with high schools.
Our rival,
all
by
those
the way.
guys. Yeah, and their rival, and Bowie actually has a
What
pretty good
schools
winning-
were on that onside kick game? That's real famous. They were like they were down and they scored off of like 3 onside kicks, and then they ended up losing on when they really kicked it off.
Is that Plano?
Was it?
No.
Plano,
It's
Texas.
not 6A,
Oh, was it?
as far as I know.
All right. So, anyways, but at the end of the day, they would have lost the state championship to Lake Travis that year, because Lake Travis would have mollywopped them.
Yeah, that Lake Travis team was really good. But like I said, at the end of the day, I can reminisce all I want about high school football, but I'm not really big on that. I've never really have been. Like I said, like I came home, like we went home that night, and over there was like, oh, like how do you feel about it? I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, that's so fitting that the offensive coordinator at Cal is Jake Spavital.
I mean, I was completely fine with how high school football went for me, because I kind of knew where I was gonna end up in terms of like football after freshman year. Wasn't really.
All right. Well, we're to the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna tell you where we're gonna end up. We're gonna end up signing off here shortly. I'm gonna let everybody sign off independently. Since Hunter was first in, I'll let him be first to say his hey.
Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas. There you go.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but Earl Thomas.
All right,
Earl
Hunter.
Thomas was good at football for a while till he went crazy.
Yep.
So thanks for tuning in. If you did, Theo Lombardi, new face, as far as I know. Maybe you've been around for a couple days, and I've been gone for a couple weeks, so who knows? Hope to see you around some more. Everyone else that tuned in, Joey, Ragin, Mom,
Pat
everybody,
Paulson, Diabolical Fit.
Pat Paulson, Bocce, freaking Mike from the liquor store. Thanks for tuning in.
Big Mike from Pittsburgh.
Mike
Shannon,
from Pittsburgh.
Chanel.
Chanel, Magic Hands. And he fumbled in the end zone. Anyway, in order of importance, go Navy. Beat something. Hook 'em horns, and of course, eat 'em up cats.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Glad to have you in the chat. Please tell your friends, subscribe, like, and we will see you for Thursday's preview of next week's games.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Please tell your friends to subscribe. We will be at 50 by Wednesday. We are going to have a special guest next week, and you guys are really going to enjoy it. Fight on. We are SC, and V is for victory. Remember, all you SEC fans, you cannot spell SEC without S and C. See you guys next week.
All right, that's going to wrap the show. I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out for 2 hours tonight on your Saturday night. You could be doing anything else, but you chose to spend with us. And just remember, Use a duel. Don't be one. No, I'm kidding. The team that scores the most points always wins the game. Thanks for watching.
Man.